I have them all here. I'm ready. I'm ready to square up with every one of these little freaks. I'm hoping to post this to YouTube, so I'm gonna try and go relatively fast, because rendering like hour-long plus videos on Sony Vegas is a total nightmare that has taken me upwards of 24 hours before of solid rendering. So I'm gonna try and go relatively speedy and not spend too much time on all of them. But before I begin, predictions, anyone? Do you guys think I will decree that I could beat a majority of the Pokemon from Kanto? Or do you think I will concede that a majority of the Pokemon from Kanto would defeat me in one-to-one, hand-to-hand combat? I'm curious. How dangerous are these guys? And it stands to reason, obviously, this is going to be one of the biggest ones, because this and Unova are the only regions with like upwards of 100 and... They've got the most Pokemon, Kanto and Unova, so those are going to be the longest ones. I'm going to do every region, by the way. I'm hoping to do every region. I'll go to Johto, I'll do Ho, and I'll do all of them. So... depends on the rules of the fist fight. I guess I'm going to rule that it's really a matter of the first one who can incapacitate the other or force them to yield, you know? We'll kind of figure it out as we go. So screw it. Here we go. Part 1, baby. Fudj fights Kanto. Let's talk about it. Let's start with number 1, obviously. This is really easy, okay? It's Bulbasaur. Look at him. He is a vaguely dog-like creature who I would wager is still below the size of the average dog. And his defining trait is that he has a plant bulb on his back. This is a salad. The question is not, could I beat Bulbasaur? The question is, could I eat Bulbasaur? And the answer is yes. If the answer is, would I eat Bulbasaur? The answer is no, because he's a salad. But I'm saying, you know, give me a knife and fork, which I can literally grab from my kitchen drawer upstairs, and he's done for. Ivysaur is almost the exact same. He's slightly bigger, and so could perhaps cause some more grievous dog-like injuries. You can see some fangs there, but I'm still not scared of this guy. Same logic, I think. I don't think he's particularly fast. If I get in on him with a knife and fork... Can I ask, by the way, can someone in chat... This is a big ask. Can someone in chat keep a tally? Can I get like a dedicated tally keeper so I can know at the end? Someone keep track of how many of the 151 Pokemon I say I could beat and how many I say I couldn't. Can I get like a designated scorekeeper? Anyone want to volunteer? If not, then I have to watch the VOD back over again and whatever. But 2 down. I'm saying Bulbasaur and Ivysaur. Okay, I understand, Yog. Do your homework. Study. Okay, yes, he's poison type, but I've got a strong stomach. I've drunk copious amounts of alcohol without vomiting before. I'm sure I can take an itchy leaf. Venusaur, actually, I will concede, poses a bit of a problem. He is quite large and quite intimidating. However, he's also ungodly slow, and I'm a fast, nimble young fella. I'll admit, if Venusaur gets like the first hit in on me with some Vine Whips or some kind of powder attack, you know, that's a problem. The issue for Venusaur is that he isn't going to get the first hit on me, because I'm going to be ducking and diving like there's no tomorrow. It's a bit of a toss-up, I'll give it to you, but the moment I get in on Venusaur, the moment I get close, which I will, same thing with my cutlery, my advanced cutlery combat skills. I take this thing apart like it's nobody's business. So I'm saying I get the dub on Venusaur as well. Charmander. Oh boy. As Pokemon enthusiasts will know, it is very much part of Charmander's lore that if the fire on his tail goes out, he dies. He actually straight up dies outright. He doesn't faint, he's dead. And I tell you, I piss a lot. I need to pee very often. I have the world's weakest bladder. You know, I could kill 2 birds with 1 stone with this little guy. And what's he gonna do in the process? Bite my ankles? Give me a little scratch? Whatever, man. I don't even need to. I could just bring a glass of. Look, I have my win condition for Charmander right here. I beat him with this. I splashed this glass of water at him, and it's game over. So of course I beat Charmander. Charmeleon, again, same story, sure. He's a bit bigger, he's a bit more threatening, but pfft, whatever, man. Like, all I gotta do is get around to the back of him, put that shit out, he's done for, you know? Same story. Charizard, I know what you're thinking. Okay, I mean, look at Charizard, right? He's a big fuck-off dragon. He's an incredibly strong Pokemon, access to tons of moves, tons of Mega Forms, and you'd be right. But there's a crucial part of this that you're forgetting. Let's click on Charizard, shall we? What does the webpage tell us about Charizard right now? He's the Flame Pokemon. He has the Blaze ability. Weak to water, electric, and rock. Hang on. What is that? Excuse me? Chat, does that say height 1.7 meters? Let me put that into perspective for you real quick. How tall is 1.7 meters in feet? 5.5! Charizard is 5'5". I'm taller than him. I'm throwing this motherfucker down like a little ragdoll. He is getting tossed around like a sandbag. 5'5". Unbelievable. And he's very aerodynamic, so when I throw him, he goes soaring like a kite. Sorry, Charles, I don't care, like, you're not seismic tossing me, you're not picking me up and flying away with me. You know, you have no physical advantage over me, Charizard. You're 5'5". So, and again, glass of water right here. I always have one at my desk, because you gotta stay hydrated. So, sorry, that's a dub on Charizard as well, I'm afraid. I stay 6'0". I'm Charizard height? Right. Yeah, Charizard is the height of people who are smaller than me. Hello, Martin. Please don't do that. Charizard is toast. Squirtle, I mean, you know, he's a turtle. Not to get too macabre, but we as the human race are already beating turtles by putting trash in the ocean and whatnot. You know, if I come at this guy with a straw, with a plastic straw or a 6-pack ring, you know, it's over. The worst thing Squirtle can do is retreat to his shell and delay the inevitable. But eventually, I'm channeling my inner Super Mario, and I'm stomping his fucking brains in. Wartortle, bigger, sturdier, it will take longer, sure. But I don't know what physical threat Wartortle poses to me outside of some strong blasts of water, but I'm from England. It's been pouring down torrential rain today. Didn't bother me. So, again, he can get in his shell and run away from me all he wants. But the moment I get in, and I will, because I'm very persistent, Wartortle's done as well. Now, here's one. Blastoise is where things get a bit dicey. And by dicey, it's not listed here. It crushes its foes under its heavy body to cause fainting. In a pinch, it will withdraw inside its shell. There is a Pokédex entry that mentions Blastoise being able to shoot water with such force that he can punch through metal. Yeah, sure. That is a concern for me. I'll admit it. If it can punch through metal, it can punch a hole through me. There's quite a few logistical issues with Blastoise. He is, you know, he's a big lad. I mean, he's still not my height, but he's hefty. He's got his shell that I struggle to see how I get in, how I approach Blastoise, you know? He has he has literal cannons. He has 2 literal long-range cannons in his back that he can kill me with at any point. And if I do get in on him, then he goes into his shell, which is far too large for me to really reach into. Could we weak metal? I mean, it could, but even then, even weak metal is like you know, it's enough to be a problem for me. Even if he's not punching a hole in me, Dragon Ball Z style. I'm struggling to find a win condition against Blastoise here. You know, maybe, perhaps I could push him on his back, and he would struggle to get up. But again, that requires getting in at close range, and if he has cannons that can punch a hole through metal, I actually think Blastoise. I'll give it up. I'll give it up. I'm going to concede my first L, I think, to Blastoise. Caterpie. What's his weight? Hang on. 85.5 kilograms. £188? That's surprisingly little. So, I mean, pushing him over is certainly possible. But again, it's about getting in close range, you know? I do think there is a path to victory for me. But I'll give it up to Blastoise. I think he wins this round. I'll give it to him. Caterpie, I shouldn't need to explain, should I? Right? Like, if Caterpie were real, I probably would have accidentally killed quite a lot of them already by virtue of existing and walking around in the world. Obviously, I beat Caterpie. Metapod is basically the same story as Squirtle or Wartortle, where maybe he can wait me out by hardening, but he has even less offensive presence than Wartortle. So, yeah, it's a battle of attrition. But if I bring a lighter or something, then, you know, I win against Metapod as well. Butterfree is a butterfly. And sure, it has some tricks up its sleeve. It can do like confusion and powder and shit. But again, that's delaying the inevitable. You know, I get out the Bug Zapper, I get out a Fly Swatter or whatever. I don't know, pull out a bow and arrow and make the shot of my life. I don't know. Honestly, Butterfree's biggest advantage over me is that it would probably freak me out quite a lot because I don't like moths or butterflies. I don't hate butterflies, but this thing with its giant fucking red eyes would scare me. But eventually, I believe I would face my fears, and I believe that I would kill Butterfree. Unpleasant as it may be, if I got my bare hands on Butterfree, I do believe I could crush it with my bare hands. Because it's a butterfly. It's made out of very flimsy, organic material. Weedle is Caterpie, but with a sharp point, so, I don't know, wear combat boots. Or, this is really good music for this. I don't know, step carefully when you step on him, which you will. And Kakuna is the same story as Metapod, where, you know, I mean, Kakuna is poisonous, so again, it's a bit more dangerous, but come at this thing with a kitchen knife, just poke away at it, you know, scrape it. It's a cocoon, you know. It's in a state of trying to become strong. It can't do anything right now. That's why it's a cocoon. So, Kakuna is a free win as well. Beedrill. Yeah. Okay. Beedrill certainly poses a problem. Many problems, in fact. It would be very quick. It's obviously far more offensively threatening than Butterfree. It's also, like, more slender, dare I say. More slim. The only, like, kind of wide part to get an attack in is the Stinger, which you don't really want to go anywhere near. He's poisonous. He has drills for hands. He has a giant Stinger. Yeah, I think it's fair to assume that Stinger would probably kill the average human. Right, a Stinger of that size goes in you. I don't like, you know, bugs kind of freak me out as it is. There are paths to victory, like I say, a lighter or a Fly Swatter or a Bug Zapper. But Beedrill actually has, like, range with his drill hands and his Stinger. He can knock that shit out of your hands. I gotta give it up to Beedrill. I think Beedrill would probably bring your boy to his knees. It's not easy for me to admit that. Pidgey is a pigeon. Next. Pidgeotto is a slightly bigger pigeon with some dangerous looking feet. So, you know, and it's fast and it would be hard to hit. So I'll give you that, like, it's not out of the realm of possibility that Pidgeotto wins. This would be like a real scrap, you know. This is just a man versus a strong, decent-sized bird. There's no doubt in my mind that I would leave a fight with Pidgeotto with quite grievous wounds and scratches all up and down my body. But could it kill me? Could it defeat me? Or incapacitate me in any way? No. I think it could seriously injure me in the process of me murdering it. Or if it is capable of giving up and yielding and communicating to me that it yields, then I'll accept that. I kind of assume that I'm going to have to kill a lot of these Pokemon because they're animals and they're not going to know when to give up or how to communicate to me that they are giving up. But if Pidgeotto at any point was to say, yo, you got it, bro, and back up, I'll take that. I don't want to have to kill these guys. You know, they're funny, they're cute, I like them. But I just accept that I probably will have to. Either way, I win against Pidgeotto. Pidgeot! How big is Pidgeot? I mean, how big is Pidgeotto? Pidgeotto is 30 kilograms, so like no weight at all. It's less than half the weight of Blastoise, which is 188 pounds. Right? Yeah. It's just over a meter tall. How much bigger is Pidgeot? It's a reasonable amount bigger. It's just... it is a huge fuck-off bird. You know, I don't really feel like any of the art of Pidgeot or any of its depictions in the games accurately depicts how big it is. I'm gonna give it up to Pidgeot. Okay, this Pokemon flies at Mach... sorry, I've just noticed that. This Pokemon flies at Mach 2 speed, seeking prey. Its large talons are feared as wicked weapons. Yeah. This is an average-sized, average-height man fighting off a bird that is just insanely huge. So, okay, Pidgeot. You got me. You win this round. If I have more prep time, if I get time to prepare, there's a chance, but it's a huge fuck-off bird that flies at Mach 2 speed. So, that's my third L. I've conceded to Blastoise, Beedrill, and Pidgeot. Not to Charizard, because he's tiny. Rattata! You know, if this was me versus 100 of every Pokemon, that's game over. You know, we haven't forgot about the bubonic plague, rat torture, and all that stuff we used to do. I live in Reading, literally on the street outside. I see rats running around all the time. Same logic as Caterpie or any other tiny Pokemon. Morbid as it may be, if I step on this thing, it's game over. Maybe it gets a bite in on me. The plague ain't around anymore, baby. You've lost your one weapon. Raticate. Bigger rat, step on it harder, right? Nah. Raticate's done too. Spearow. Say everything I said about Pidgey for Spearow. It doesn't do anything that Pidgey doesn't do. If anything, I think it might be slightly smaller. Slightly more wild, but whatever. Fearow is an interesting one. A Pokemon that dates back many years. If it senses danger, it flies high and away instantly. So it's a coward. It's only slightly bigger than Pidgeotto. I don't know, man. This thing is so slim. I feel like if I get my hands around Fearow's neck and just start swinging it into stuff, you know, even its feet don't look as sharp as Pidgeot's. Doesn't really have, like, I don't know. This thing will hurt me. I have no illusions that this thing will seriously hurt me. But I eventually come out on top against Fearow. It also isn't big enough or powerful enough to lift me, I don't think. If I focus all my weight into my body, I think I make this thing sink like a rock. So, Fearow, you're done for. Ekans is a snake. The older it gets, the longer it grows. At night, it wraps its long body around tree branches to rest. I mean, this is just, you know, man versus snake, right? And I guess prep time becomes an argument. Do I get to watch some Bear Grylls before I fight this thing? Do I get to watch some nature documentaries? My understanding of a snake is that to stop it from constricting you and killing you, you want to grab it by the head and by the tail to have its whole length kind of in front of you. And that it can't really tie. I think I win against Ekans. His only real way of killing me, I think, is through poison. And if he does that, that's over long term. And we're talking about who wins the fight in the immediacy. Maybe he does kill me with poison after I incapacitate him, which I will. I still won the fight. I just died later, you know? So I win the immediate fight against Ekans. The question really is, does he poison me? And do I die in the long term? Which is yeah, sure. That's a maybe. Arbok. Fuck off. I give it up. If I saw this thing ever under any circumstances, I would cry and scream like a child. Look at this fucker. He's fucking huge. He's 3.5 meters? Excuse me? What? No way. Oh my god, he's 11 foot tall. Ah! He is approximately twice my height. He is a little bit less than twice my height. He is over twice as tall as Charizard. I assume this is referring to the full length of him standing up from his tail. He's still fucking huge. I truly do not know what I could do about Arbok. If this thing came at me, I'd have to have some kind of Rube Goldberg machine set up. I could beat him. How would you beat him, Pi? Outline your strategy to me. I'm fascinated by this. He has glare, so he could paralyze you. He has range with Sludge Bomb. This thing's fucking gnarly. I'm telling you. This has got to be one of the scariest Pokemon. 3.5 meters high. I am astounded by that. Also, the pattern on his body freaks me out. Gun, I haven't really outlined the rules very carefully, but I feel like saying you could just get a gun is a bit much. Like, I'm saying I'll say that I'm not allowed to fight any of these Pokemon, hypothetically, with anything I couldn't find in my house. So I can use a knife and fork, but this thing's going to be slithering around. He can make himself smaller by slithering. Arbok is terrifying. He would murder the shit out of me. So that's a loss to Arbok. That's 4 losses so far, I think. Right, chat? Anyone chat keeping count? 4? Blastoise, Beedrill, Pidgeot, Arbok. Pikachu. I've had a long time to think about this. Pikachu that can generate powerful electricity have cheek sacs that are extra soft and super stretchy. He'll hurt me, he'll shock me and jolt me a bit, but I'll kill this little fucker at the end, you know. This is just a matter of, I get my hands on him, he's done. Raichu is a bit more sturdy and a bit larger, and he's cuter, so I would have more trouble performing physical harm on him. But at the end of the day, he's just a fat rat, you know. He's a chubby rat who will shock me worse. But I don't know. Is there any mention of how many volts he can expel, he can fire? Its long tail serves as a ground to protect itself from its own high voltage power. So it needs to protect itself from its own voltage power, which is a bit concerning. It's a bit of a toss-up, sure. But I'm built different. I don't know. I can take some jolts. You know, I've done some pretty hardcore shit in my time. I think I get the win against Raichu. Sandshrew would be one of the most annoying fights possible. Good point. Wear latex gloves. Yeah, I could buy some of those. Yeah. Volts aren't the problem. That's absolutely whatever. Pika's voltage is absurdly high, but it doesn't kill Ash. Yeah, Ash gets fucking shocked all the time, and he's fine. And I doubt Raichu is that much of a jump up from Pikachu. Sandshrew, it would hurt me a lot to hurt this guy because he's very cute and I like him a lot, and I like armadillos and they're very cute. I know he's a shrew, but they're basically the same thing. He's depicted as being an armadillo, really. Let's be real. This would be annoying because he'd curl up into a ball, and you know, this is a battle of attrition. I would need to. I think I'd need to get pretty down and dirty to deal with this thing. I'd have to resort to some rather morbid, underhanded tactics. But yes, I could kill Sandshrew, and he would not kill me. Sandslash is actually a serious problem. This fucking guy, I mean, first of all, the drier the area Sandslash lives in, the harder and smoother the Pokemon spikes will feel when touched. He's, you know, where do I attack? Where's my attack point? Because he's covered in spikes, and he has these huge fuck-off claws. It would be very hard to like get in on Sandslash to get to his flesh. you know, to get in on his skin, that would be tough. He could fight a range. We would scrap, that's for sure, but I have to concede that I think he has quite the advantage. He has the range, he has the defense, he can burrow underground. That I can contest with that, you know? And he's like an expert burrower as well. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really see my win condition against Sandslash. I think that's a dub for Sandslash. That's 5 losses now, right? So I think. Nidoran, it's a bit poisonous, whatever. It's also tiny. I'll throw this thing around the fucking room. I'll blunt trauma this thing down. Nidorina, again, it's not even that much bigger, right? How big is Nidorina? The horn in its head has atrophied. It's thought that this happens so Nidorina's children won't get poked while their mother is feeding them. What does atrophied mean? Can someone explain that to me? Is that a poison thing? I mean, it's poisonous, sure, but if I, you know, if I get some kind of ranged weapon from the kitchen, there's a lot of things I could do about Nidorina. I just gotta be careful. It's like fighting a small dog that's slightly poisonous. Oh, atrophy basically means died? Oh, okay. Fucking atrophy means it gets weaker and goes away. Okay. Nidorina is game. It's over for you. Nidoqueen, listen. As a women enjoyer, women respecter, this would be tough for me. You know? Could I bring myself to lay my hands on a fine queen such as this? Would I just concede at the start because I refuse to disrespect our beautiful queens in such a manner? Possibly. It's also very poisonous and very sturdy. It doesn't weigh much at all, right? 60 kg? I mean, like, I have the advantage, you know. If I wanted to kill Nidorina, I could. And I suppose if I was put in a life or death situation, no. I respect women too much. I care too much about our queens. Chivalry is not dead. Nidoqueen is not dead. I give it up. She can have the win. Us men, we've been on top too long. You know. So girls rule the world now. Nidoran, I'm stomping on his head. Nidorino, I'm stomping on his head carefully. Nidoking. You know, I am all about taking down the patriarchy. 1.4 meters. When it goes on a rampage, it's impossible to control, but in the presence of a Nidoqueen it's lived with for a long time, Nidoking calms down. Again, he's not very tall. He's quite small, and he's not that heavy. He's quite light. You know? Really, he's like the size and weight of a big dog, like a Great Dane or something. But with also like less agility. Because he's bipedal. So 4.5 L's? No, that's just a straight up L. I'll take the L to Nidoqueen. It's okay. Because you didn't kill Nidoqueen, you may subdue Nidoking, assuming the queen didn't kill you. True. I have leverage. If he understands that. I'm gonna be honest, I think I outpower Nidoking as it is. I'm an average size, average height guy, and my stats, my tail of the tape, greatly outperforms Nidoking regardless. I know he's poisonous, and I know he's very aggressive, but I'm really smart and crafty. I don't know. It's a toss-up, but I think I beat Nidoking, personally. I mean, you guys might feel different, but it's not your list, is it? So, Clefairy would be one of the weirdest fights here. Obviously, Metronome exists. There is every possibility that it uses Metronome and rolls Draco Meteor against me and kills not just me, but, you know, an entire neighborhood. But there's also every possibility that I close the distance against this thing in 5 seconds and squeeze the life out of it like it was a froob. I suspect people outside of Britain will not know what I'm referring to there, but what I'm saying is I will squeeze this thing so hard that its insides explode. And I don't think there's much it could do to me. Clefable's a bit weirder. A lot of weird tricks this thing could do. Anything about Clefable and its Pokedex entry? A timid fairy Pokemon that is rarely seen. It will run and hide the moment it senses people. I don't know. I just don't think this thing doesn't have it in it, does it? Clefable just doesn't have the stuff. Clefable just hasn't got the killer instinct that I have. If Clefable was put in a life or death situation, fight or flight, it would give up. It would surrender. It would concede. All of your underhanded tricks. This is oddly inspirational music for me talking about how I'm gonna fucking murder Clefable with my bare hands. But I would. It's weak to steel, so I assume an aluminum baseball bat would be highly effective. True. As would, again, I mentioned the cutlery upstairs in my kitchen would do a number on this thing. Which I imagine it's quite squishy in texture, quite flimsy. You know? I don't think it's particularly resistant. Vulpix, this would hurt me to do because Vulpix is very cute. But Vulpix is just an animal. It can do some fire stuff and some heat stuff. Could really hurt me in the process. You know, 3rd degree burns are, you know, a very real threat. What's your Pokedex entry say? While young, it has 6 gorgeous tails. When it grows, several new tails are sprouted. But I kill this thing, right? I do. Ninetales is bigger. And it is said to live 1,000 years, and each of its tails is loaded with supernatural powers. But I doubt any of those supernatural powers perfect it from the blunt force trauma of an elbow strike to the head. If you touch Ninetales' tails, you die? Do you actually? Is that part of the lore? I think I might have forgotten about that. I don't know. I'm not seeing anything about it. I remain unconvinced. Ninetales curses you for eternity. Well, I just won't grab its tails then. If you grab its tails, it curses you for eternity. I simply will not, you know. I know what you guys are thinking of doing. But I'll just grab it by the fucking head and give it the old 1-2. Show it what for, you know. Really, the fire is more of a concern. Listen, there's no doubt in my mind that my fight with Ninetales would have drastic long-term ramifications. But in the fight, in the one-on-one fight, I think I win. Even if I die later because it curses me and my family for 1,000 years, or I accidentally touched its tails. Jigglypuff, pfft, I've wanted to kill this fucking thing since the anime. If you put me to sleep and draw shit on my face while I'm asleep, you're only making it worse for yourself, Jigglypuff. I will rip that quiff straight off your head. Happy Tree Friend style. Alright? I'm not fucking around, Jigglypuff. I need you to understand. Jigglypuff. Also, Jigglypuff is a balloon. We have a corkboard upstairs that I use. I have drawing pins that I pin things up on my corkboard with. I have a literal box of drawing pins. If I come at this thing with a drawing pin, it's fucking over. We've all seen Smash Bros. If you pop Jigglypuff's shield in Smash Bros, she blows up and dies instantly. It camps you out. That's fine. I'll stay in my flat, eat food, watch Twitch. I can wait. How long's this thing got? I win in the battle of attrition. Watch out for his back here. It's fine. I have very good parries. Wigglytuff is just the same thing, but slightly rounder, which makes it a bigger target. I suspect that Wigglytuff can't stay airborne as long and camp me out. The more air it takes in, the more it inflates. If opponents catch it in a bad mood, it would inflate itself to an enormous size to intimidate them. That would maybe intimidate me a little bit, but that would also make a bigger target for my drawing pin, which would pop you and kill you instantly. The worst thing that Jigglypuff and Wigglytuff can do to me is sing me to sleep and delay the inevitable. But I guarantee that won't work during the day because I'm nocturnal anyway. and I have insomnia. Or 2, it could hire her with metronome. It could metronome and do some crazy shit. It could also metronome and get itself killed. So, on balance, I win. Zubat would obviously be a very, very annoying fight. It would be hard to get a hold of this thing, flying around the place. It emits ultrasonic waves from its mouth to check its surroundings. Even in tight caves, Zubat flies around with skill. Zubat would actually be a problem, if not for something that you guys can literally see right now in my webcam. Headphones, baby. Did my music just stop? It did. Pop some headphones in. Put on some paintball gloves. You know? Worst thing this thing can do is bite me. And if I wrap up warm. They're bloodsuckers though? That's fine. I had 4 COVID injections. I've had like 8 blood tests. I've had enough operations. I know what it's like, you know, getting blood taken. By the way, I don't mean to imply that I think having a COVID jab is having my blood taken. I'm just saying I've had sharp things put into my flesh. It's fine. This will be annoying. This will take a while. This thing fucking flitted about my apartment. But you know, the moment I get my hands on it, it's over. Golbat, on the other hand, I mean, look at that fucking maw. What'd that mouth do? This thing is quite concerning, actually. It's also 1.6 meters high. This thing is only slightly smaller than Charizard. So it's fucking huge. It loves to drink other creatures' blood. It's said that if it finds others of its kind going hungry, it sometimes shares the blood it's gathered. Oh, that's nice. That's oddly nice of you, Golbat. Can I just say, looking at Golbat right now, like really looking at it, like looking at its design, looking at the Pokemon, I kind of realize how much I actually really love its design. You almost forget about it because it's so basic. You view it as so basic and so early. It looks like a Dragon Quest enemy, Golbat. I kind of love the like vampire bat, but also like gargoyle thing it's got going on with a huge mouth and yeah, I don't know. I really like Golbat now that I'm looking at him. He's big. He's really big. 55 kilograms for a bat. Like he might be able to. He might vor me. He might be able to fit me in his whole mouth. Now, he surely wouldn't fly as fast as Zubat, which would make him a bigger target. But, like, I can't really get a knife in anywhere. Okay, hear me out. What if I get something down his throat? What if I, like, get some tennis balls? Could I create a choke? Could I make him choke to death? Could I cause a choking hazard? Throw some household objects at him. This is a real toss-up. To kill Golbat is the same win condition as like winning a football match, right? He's pogging, maybe. Yeah. You know, I need to get some shit in the goal. That's why he's called Golbat. I was just thinking, stuff is massive gob. Yeah. Oh man, I feel like this is a real toss-up. This is the first one where I'm like genuinely unsure. This could go either way, you know? If my strat doesn't work, if my aim isn't on point, this thing can straight up massacre me. The thing is, aside from its teeth, you know, his feet look like paddles. He doesn't have claws. He doesn't really look to have particularly sharp wings or talons. The only thing I've got to be worried about is my teeth. His teeth. If I just like, I don't know, wrap up pretty, you know, tight. I don't know. I think it's starting to look less and less possible for Golbat. I think he hurts me quite a lot. And possibly does get my whole head in his mouth. But I think I quickly yank that out and throw a tennis ball, throw a kitchen knife down there. You know the episode of SpongeBob when Squidward is choking on the fork? And you can see it in his neck? I'd do that to him. It's tough. Listen, it's tough. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I think I beat Golbat. I think I kill Golbat. I do need to factor in that he would definitely freak me out quite a lot. But I think I got this shit. I think I got it in the end. Oddish, that's a plant. If I forget to water Oddish for a few days, I kill Oddish. You know, much less if I go into business myself. Get up close and personal. Gloom is basically asking me to kill it. Looks like it wants to be put out of its misery. Take a lighter to that thing. Pfft, whatever. Vileplume, sure, you know, emit a bunch of spores and shit. I have tons of face masks left over from COVID. I could plug my nose. I could put eye mask on. You have no way of... Vileplume, you hard lose to? Explain that to me, Amazing Billy. I'm desperate to know. I don't think I hard lose to Vileplume at all. I don't see how this thing... It's not fast as well. It's very slow. If this thing tries to run away from me... It smells horrible? Okay, I'll plug my nose. I swear I've seen you suffer from allergies before. Yes, I get very bad hay fever. But I have eye drops. I have pills. Again, I could literally put goggles on. I have the flight goggles. Remember I bought the flight goggles for the charity stream? I think I left them somewhere. I put those on. Get a hazmat suit. Vileplume does not destroy me. What are you talking about? You guys are all talking shit. What's up with the fucking Vileplume fan club here? What about Solar Beam? Oh, you live in the UK. Yeah, no, that'll take 5 turns to charge. Vileplume is dead before it even thinks about Solar Beam. Vileplume does not beat me. Anything it can do, I can counter by putting some flight goggles on and putting a washing peg on my nose. And I come at this thing with a fucking knife and fork or a weed whacker, and it's over. It can't run away from me. It has no physical presence over me. The worst thing it can do is put some fumes in my house, you know? And I had COVID not long ago, so I've probably got a reasonable immunity as well. I don't care what you think. I fucking clear Vileplume like it's nobody's business. Are the rules like you can prepare for the fight? I'm saying I'm allowed to use anything I can find in my house for the fight. That's my rule. I can use whatever I have in my house. I can't, like, get a gun or, you know... But if this thing shows up, if I have, like, let's say 10 minutes of warning, oh, there's a Vileplume coming to your house right now, what can I find to aid me in the fight? You know? Vileplume's toxic pollen triggers atrocious allergy attacks. That's why it's advisable to never approach any attractive flowers in a jungle, however pretty they may be. Again, I put some flight goggles on. I put a washing peg on my nose. I don't care. Irrelevant. I think that's a dub for me, baby. That's another dub in the Fudj column. Or another... whatever. Paris. We're going to need to start a whole category of if I step on you, you die. You know, isn't this thing fucking tiny as well? Like, unbelievably small. 0.3 meters. I stamp on this thing and it dies. Parasect is still very small. Honestly, this is another one where, like, the biggest thing Parasect has going for it against me is that it freaks me out, and I would be deeply uncomfortable getting close to it. But I would eventually get over that to fucking washing peg on your nose, goggles. I'm just imagining you in this get-up fighting for your life, and I'm cracking up. With, like, a full hazmat suit, just flinging my knife and fork around the place. Parasect looks like it can be beaten and you'll probably have a blast. Eaten and you'll probably have a blast. You're aware of what Parasect is, right? It's like the Pokemon interpretation of the Cordyceps parasite. So this thing is basically a zombie. If I eat Parasect, it's entirely possible that I start an actual zombie apocalypse. Oh god, imagine like a human being being like taken over by the Cordyceps parasite. That is how a zombie movie starts. I will not eat Parasect. I'll eat Bulbasaur, you know. Gotta get my 5 a day. When we get to Hoenn and we find Tropius, oh baby. You know, there's a smoothie shop 5 minutes down the road. I'll fucking take him there. Parasect though. I'll kill him, but I'm burning the body afterwards. You know. Yeah, I'm not trying to become a fucking clicker from The Last of Us. I win against Parasect. I would be deeply uncomfortable the whole time. It would freak me out. You know, some Silent Hill music would play the whole time I'm doing it. But if I throw a lighter at him, if I stomp on him enough, yeah. Venonat would hurt me to kill because he's very cute and I like him a lot. He's very sweet. He's my friend. You know, I would be that meme with the guy holding the gun crying. But obviously I would kill Venonat. Venomoth is kind of like Butterfree. Only, again, I mean, it would be annoying to kill. But I don't really see what it can do to me. It has some, you know, confusion. It has some psychic attacks. But, you know, this would be annoying. This would be annoying, but I'd get there in the end. I think he has mandibles. Hey, Ree, what's up? Everyone congratulate Ree, who just got a job as a tattoo artist. Our successful and accomplished girl. Immensely, immensely proud of my friend. She's amazing. Well done, Ree. I'm just talking about how I would... Let's read this. The powdery scales on its wings are hard to remove from skin. They also contain poison that leaks out on contact. Again, that's a concern, but if I'm careful and smart, I don't know. I don't see what Venomoth can do to me, really. Can maybe poison me. Again, if I die in the long term, though, I still win the fight. You know? Just take a sip. By the way, the song that you guys are hearing right now, oh my god. Incredible, right? This is the credits theme from Tropical Freeze. And I've been talking over it. I think you've kind of missed it now, but the sax... Oh my god. The sax just gets me fucking randy. Okay, Diglett. Diglett would be really... God, Diglett would be so fucking annoying to fight. Not just that he'd be digging up and down all over the place, but the fact that he would be making his noise the whole time. Diglett, 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 dig! You know, maybe I'd off myself after enough time because of the metronome in my head. But, you know, we've all played Whack-A-Mole at the arcade, right? I have a hammer in my storage cupboard upstairs. This would take time. This would be a battle of attrition. But I don't see what Diglett does to me. Diglett can just appear under you and crush your nuts with Slash. I know that it can learn Slash in the game. But I just don't believe that Diglett can Slash. I don't believe it. He'd have to do it to me. You know what? I would invite Diglett. I'd go, you know what, Diglett? If you can really slash me right now. I would get my dick out. In front, I would stand above his hole with my cock out and say, you know what, Diglett? If you can really kill me right now. This is an open challenge. I'm begging you. And then you know what I'd do? I'd do what chat is saying. I'd actually pour gasoline down the hole. I'd bait him. I'd bait him into coming up. Diglett, here's my dick. Slash me. He pops his down. Bam. There's my hammer. He's fucking dead. Obviously, like I say, my rule is that I'm only fighting these Pokemon with things I can find in my flat. So, gasoline, no. I could definitely piss down his... like I said, I used it as my argument against Charmander. I have a very weak bladder. I piss a lot. I am confident that I could fill up his entire intricate burrow system with my piss within approximately somewhere between 24 to 48 hours. If I just chug water, I will smoke him out eventually. I will flood his whole system. Not a chance. Dugtrio is the same thing, right? Dugtrio, if anything, is more targets. Dugtrio, what I don't get is, if these... This is one Pokemon split into three. Do they share one brain? If I perform enough blunt force trauma on one Diglett to... On one of these, does it kill all of them? I don't know. Either way, by the same logic that Diglett can't kill me, I don't see what... Okay, Dugtrio could make an earthquake. Certainly. Okay, that is... Yes, he could. That is concerning. He could also magnitude and roll 10. And cause a national incident. That is concerning. And he's very fast. Carbon monoxide poison that bastard? I'm not smart enough to know. Yeah, maybe. Maybe if I had like... My rule is... I'm told that this Pokemon is coming to my flat in 10 minutes. And I have about 10 minutes to game plan, I'm going to say. I have to kill Dugtrio in the interest of national security. This is my way into MI5. Earthquake is concerning. However, I heard once in a YouTube video that when an earthquake happens, you stand under a door frame and you're fine. So, you know, I have a door frame in my flat. I don't know. I still think I beat Dugtrio. Call me cocky, call me whatever you want. I just think, you know, this is a toss-up. This is a really weird one. I just think the moment he goes down his hole, I fill it up with some shit and he doesn't even get a chance to use Earthquake. Hear me out. What if I take a shit down his hole? Checkmate. If it lands at magnitude 10, turn 1, then sure, he wins. I'll admit, like, Dugtrio could kill me. Dugtrio could win. This falls into my kind of Nidoking toss-up category. But I do ultimately think I win. It's very annoying to get there. This is in my Nidoking Golbat toss-up. He could win, but I still am saying that I win. I'm not officially taking an L here. Meowth, this would hurt me because I love cats. And hey, you know, take it from someone who has sat with Ted a lot and had scratches all up and down my arms, all over the place. Cat scratches do hurt, and they have sharp claws, and they're very agile. But yeah, I could kill one. Swing it against the wall, you know. Not to mention, it's got... it's displaying a vulgar display of wealth with a coin on its head. So I almost feel obligated to kill it. That is a conservative cat, make no mistake. So, probably does need to go to the big litter box in the sky, you know. Persian, how big is Persian? Hang on, because this is a much bigger cat we're talking. Whoa, hey, it's a meter fucking tall in height. Getting this prideful Pokemon to warm up to you takes a lot of effort, and it will claw at you the moment it gets annoyed. Again, this is another one where there is no doubt in my mind that in the process of killing Persian, I would receive some grievous wounds. This thing would absolutely scratch and claw the shit out of me. Persian can also use Thunderbolt, yes, but it has a pathetic special attack stat and it's not stab, so it would be like getting a small jolt, I think. Persian could use pay... You know what? I would drag the fight out with Persian so that it uses Payday and throws money at me. And then when I've collected enough money that I'm satisfied with, I throw this thing out the window. No, I don't, because it will land on its feet. I waterboard it. I don't know. I figure... Also, it's normal type, so it's weak to fighting, okay? One punch, and I've taken this thing's ribs out. I think Persian would fuck most people up. It's the size of a cheetah. Yeah, I agree with you, Miz. You'd win, but it would hurt. This thing would hurt me real bad, but I'd win. Psyduck. I live with Psyduck in real life. My flatmate is Psyduck, and I could definitely kill him. This one's not a black belt. Psyduck, obviously, as we know in the anime, when he's in great distress, he can channel great feats. How much of a martial artist are you? Not at all, but I'm very vicious. He can perform great feats of psychic power. The problem is that he's dead before that happens. He's dead before he realizes what kind of shit he's in, you know? So, this hurts me, by the way, because I love Psyduck. He's great. He's brilliant. Him and Meowth are the only good parts of the Pokemon anime. You have to not distress him in the process of dispatching him. Yeah, I would lull him into a false sense of security. I'd tell him I have some bread. I'd give him some bread. And then I'd slit his throat. Oh, hang on. He's a duck. Bread makes birds' stomachs explode, right? If they have too much of it. And he's really stupid. I could just play the long game with this guy, to be honest. You know, keep him as a pet, force feed him bread over time. He's a portly fella. Probably wants quite a lot of it. No, I couldn't kill my flatmate, but this is like fighting my flatmate if he wasn't a black belt. That's what I'm saying. And in that case, I win, because it comes down to smarts and resourcefulness. And in that battle, I tell you, it is not close. Would you roast him after winning the fight? No. I love Psyduck too much. I would play this real safe. I would keep him as my friend and feed him bread over a long period of time until his stomach explodes. And he never even knows that I was intentionally killing him. I have many paths to victory versus Psyduck, frankly. Golduck is bigger, but he's still just a duck. we're not fighting on water, so I have the terrain advantage. You know, this Pokemon lives in gently flowing rivers. It paddles through the water with its long limbs, putting its graceful swimming skills on display. Cool. Let's see how you do on the fucking top floor of a flat in Reading, cunt. I'll put you in the fucking ground. Wait, 1.7... Hang on. He's as tall as... He's still only 5'5" then. 1.7 meters is Charizard height. He's 5'5", so he's smaller than me as well. He has sharp claws. He's not even a psychic type, so none of his psychic moves have stab on them. You know? His best chance of beating me is getting to the taps in the kitchen and getting some water to use somehow. He's dead. I'm sorry. I beat Golduck any day. Now this one, I'm going to level with you guys. This Mankey is the first non-fully evolved Pokemon in this series. And this is a series. I'm going to go through every region. Mankey is the first fully evolved Pokemon, non-fully evolved Pokemon. And at that, the first like basic stage of evolution Pokemon. Where I just concede defeat. I'm giving up. I'm not fighting this fucking thing. If you think you could beat Mankey, you don't realize how scary monkeys are. You have no idea. And this thing's whole thing is that it's livid all the time. An agile Pokemon that lives in trees, it angers easily and will not hesitate to attack anything. It has just occurred to me that it's literally half a meter in height. But I think that it might even be to its advantage, you know? It's strong, it's a fighting type. Yeah, there was a chimpanzee that quite literally tore a girl's face off once. I don't know. I would be too intimidated at the prospect of fighting Mankey. I can honestly say that I like my chances against Primeape better because he's bigger and as a result would be an easier target and he has fists. And I would much rather fight a monkey with its fists than claws. You know? Like, Primeape's not ripping anything off. Primeape's going for blunt force trauma. And that is still probably a loss for me because it's basically like fighting a pro boxer. But I like my chances. I like my chances fighting a pro boxer to the death much better than I like my chances fighting an actual monkey. You know? I think these are both losses. But I actually think, I can honestly say that I think I lose to Mankey harder than I lose to Primeape. Do you guys know what I mean? Mankey would be smaller, more agile. He has the prehensile tail that you can grab shit with. Primeape loses the tail. Primeape is less of a monkey. He hasn't got the tail anymore. And he's pissed all the time, unconditionally, which could be abused. Whereas Mankey is reactionary. You know? Mankey, yeah, that's the thing. Mankey's got fingers. That's scary, dude. Fingers are really fucking scary. I'm telling you right now, if you're watching this, this is a little education in wildlife here. Mankey fucks you up harder than Primeape does. Because Primeape's a boxer and Mankey is a dead-ass monkey. So that's... Mankey could put his finger in your eyes. Yeah, sure. I mean, there's a lot of things he could do. I don't know why that's just really funny to me, Tasker. That's the first thing you went to. He could put his fingers in your eyes. He could give you a titty twister. I'm worried about getting my face ripped off, Tasklo. That's what I'm worried about. Yeah, that's 2 losses in a row. I'm ashamed to say it, but it is. I fold. They can have the win. I'm not even fighting. Primeape, I might give it a go. Mankey, I'm not even fucking fighting that. Growlithe, this would hurt me because he's a cute little dog. But, you know, he's hot. He can shoot. He can do some fire stuff, which is dangerous. But also, he worked alongside cops, right, canonically. So, ACAB. You're dead, Growlithe. Arcanine is interesting. Okay. First of all, he's 1.9 meters. Which means... he's about the size of like a Great Dane, right? He is actually just a big dog. Him working with cops also means he's trained to take you down. Ah, yes, but in the UK it means he's vastly incompetent. Arcanine is like, he is just a big dog. But, I don't know, if he can run over 6,200 miles in a single day, which it says he can. Yeah, I mean, I'll be real. Like, I fancy my chances against small or average-sized dogs, but the moment we get to, like, Great Dane, Bull Mastiff size things, you know, this is like fighting fucking Cujo, only he also has laser beams. He can do fire blast and shit. There are routes to victory for me against Arcanine, I believe. I don't believe there's anything mentioned about him being hot all the time. I believe most of the time he is just a regular big dog. There are ways for me to win. But I give it to Arcanine like 60-40, 65-35. You know? Because he's still a big dog. And this is without factoring in all the fire shit that he can do. So I'll take the L to Arcanine. I don't even think like splashing him with water or whatever would really help my case. You know, Poliwag. I beat. We're not gonna. I beat Poliwag. Poliwhirl. I don't know. Not very strong. You know, he could punch me a little bit if I look at the swirl. I get a bit drowsy, so I won't look at the swirl. I don't know. Do I need to describe how I could kill Poliwhirl? I just would. You know, he'd put up a bit of a fight, but whatever. And Poliwrath, frankly, look, I get it. He's big and he's tough. Well, he's not even that big. He's 1.3 meters, so he's like barely 5 foot, if that. Oh, hang on. Wait, this changes things. I was about to make the argument that by virtue of being a tadpole, which he is, he's made of very soft, squishy material. But it says here its body is solid muscle. When swimming through cold seas, Poliwrath uses its impressive arms to smash through drift ice and plough forward. That is actually quite concerning, that it's pure muscle. I'm a bit unsure of what to think of that. What's my win condition against Poliwrath? I'm sure there is one. He's not that fast. He has like 60 base speed. Yeah, if you can smash through ice whilst you're swimming, that is incredible strength. Yeah, that is like an anime character strength. Try not getting hit. He has range with water attacks as well. What can I really do to him? You know, a lot of my win condition, I'm going to spoil this whole series for you. A lot of my win conditions against a lot of these Pokemon is that I can stab them with a kitchen knife. But, you know, it's going to break on his abs or whatever. And I still can't look at the swirl either. Because that would make me drowsy, which is the biggest part of his body. Pretty sure if he punches you once, your entire skeleton turns to powder. Yeah, most likely. This is a bit like fighting an anime character. You could invite him into your bathtub and electrocute him. He looks kind of pissed though, doesn't he? I don't think he's in the mood to stop for a bath. Plus, it's the UK. He could go outside and stand in the rain. You know? I think I gotta give it up. I think Poliwrath folds me up like an accordion. I think he's got it. Abra. This falls into the Zubat Diglett here. If this would just be annoying. Abra can literally only learn the move Teleport. All he could do is teleport away from me. That's not winning the fight. There's every chance that at some point he randomly teleports himself above an active volcano or to the bottom of the ocean. You know? I win eventually against Abra. This will just be one of the most annoying, because he's not going to fight me. He's just going to run away. I feel like he forfeits. Surely he forfeits by proxy. He's just not even trying to fight me. He can't fight. He doesn't have an attack. So, suffice to say, I win against Abra. Kadabra is complicated. Using its psychic power, Kadabra levitates as it sleeps. It uses its springy tail as a pillow. Consider this. Kadabra, you may recall, had not been in the Pokemon anime for years because of a thing with Uri Geller, the fake psychic who said that he could bend spoons with his mind. So Kadabra is in the Uri Geller field of psychics. By which I mean fake psychics. He's full of shit. Whatever psychic powers Kadabra has, I just don't believe that they're that strong. And also, I have a very big brain and powerful mind and intense willpower that no amount of psychic power could overcome. And his only other weapon of defense is a spoon. I don't know what kind of texture Kadabra is. I don't think he's much muscle. He looks somewhat twiggy to me. Don't forget the dick laser. What is the dick laser? I thought you said about that about Alakazam. Okay, I mean, yes, in the Pokemon games, when they use beam attacks, they fire them out of their dicks, don't they? But I just don't think the dick laser is doing anything to me. Well, I don't think the dick laser is hitting me in the first place, because I'm very agile. I will simply dodge. So, Kadabra, I tear Kadabra limb from limb, I'll be honest. Now, Alakazam is a complicated one. It has an incredibly high level of intelligence. Some say that Alakazam remembers everything that ever happens to it from birth till death. We know that Alakazam is incredibly smart. One of his Pokédex entries mentions that he has a brain that works like as fast as a supercomputer or whatever it is. But it says nothing about his combat prowess. Kadabra is an easy kitchen knife job? Yeah, he probably is. Really, if can I kill Kadabra is a question of can I kill Bill Gates? And the answer is yes. Obviously I can kill Bill Gates and would love to. Please don't demonetize me, YouTube. I'd love to kill Bill Gates in Minecraft. I don't know. I just don't believe in the power of Psychic. If he hits me with a Psychic, what does that mean? What does that really do? You know? What does it entail? I just don't believe. If I choose not to believe in psychic powers, I don't think it'll do a fucking thing to me. It's like believing in ghosts. Okay? Sure, he can levitate, he can teleport, he can run away from you all he wants. But the moment it comes down mano a mano, me versus Alakazam, I'm grabbing that moustache and I'm ripping it straight off his face. I'm taking his fucking lunch money. I'm ripping the pocket protector out. I'm giving him a wedgie. I'm giving him a swirly. It's over for Alakazam. I think I'd be Alakazam. I'll be real. Machop. Okay. Machop is obviously ungodly strong. There's a Pokemon card of him like lifting a giant rock with one hand. Yeah. Its whole body is composed of muscles. Even though it's the size of a human child, it can hurl 100 grown-ups. So it's fair to say, if Machop gets his hands on me, I Mega Die. I Giga Die. The problem for Machop is that he's tiny and slow, and he will not get his hands on me. I will simply fight him from range. I haven't figured out how I'll do that yet, but I just believe that I will simply outmaneuver him. You know? He might be made out of muscle, but what if I just kick him in the dick? I believe that I could beat Machop through a battle of attrition. I just don't think he's getting in on me. I'll play the zoner role. I'll be a zoner, you know? I'll outspace him. Machoke and Machamp are tall orders. Kicking him in the dick would hurt you more than it hurts him. Your toes would be busted. Fine, I won't kick him in the dick, but I can beat Machop. Machoke and Machamp, I can see. They are like bigger. They're made of more muscle. A kitchen knife ain't get it done against these guys. There's no amount of household objects that I could throw at them to cause blunt force trauma. You know, do I have a house crossbow? I do not. My best bet against these guys would be that I put the kettle on and throw a scalding jug of water at them. Use Scald IRL. But if that burns them, they have guts. Oh no! Yeah. I can outsmart my way out of Machop, but Machoke and Machamp, they're too min-max. That's too much strength. There's nothing I could do. Bellsprout. Okay, there's that one episode of the Pokemon anime, and if you guys remember, when Ash's Pikachu is fighting a Bellsprout, and this Bellsprout just like, this is like in the Pokemon League. This is like when Ash is supposed to be really good. This Bellsprout just totally fucking stunts all over Pikachu. Pikachu is desperately trying to hit him, and this Bellsprout is just like doing the Matrix and just like fucking schmooving and juking and juking and vibing, and just can't hit him. And it's a fucking great episode. It's very funny just watching this Bellsprout just totally stun on Pikachu. But he has no offensive presence. The moment I get my hands on Bellsprout, can you eat Bellsprout? You can eat bean sprouts. I probably can eat Bellsprout. Yes. Frankly, looking at that mouth, I might keep Bellsprout around for a while for some mouth-related activities on that thing's part. But I can and will kill it when the time comes eventually. As with Weeping Bell. With Weeping Bell, you could cause choking hazards. I could get a tennis ball. I could put any manner of things down there. I come at this thing with a knife. Whatever. It's over. This is a plant. I'm just not scared of a plant. You know? I'm sorry. Victory Bell's an interesting one. What does it say? Lords prayed with a sweet aroma of honey, which I don't like, so I wouldn't fall for. Swallowed whole, the prey is dissolved in a day, bones and all. It's 1.7 meters. This thing's big, and it has offensive presence. It's just slow, and I don't see how it gets in on me. But what range do I really have? I don't know. I think if I get some free throws going, you know, if I throw some shit at Bellsprout, if I get it in, Bellsprout just doesn't close the distance on me, and it doesn't have much range. So I just think eventually I throw enough things at Bellsprout. I throw a kitchen knife, I throw a thing down its mouth, and it chokes on it. Oh, it dissolves stuff, I guess, so that wouldn't be a concern. I still think I'd beat... Sorry, I'm not... Why did I say Bellsprout? Victory Bell. I just don't think Victory Bell is much of a concern for me, frankly. I think there's a chance. It's dangerous. I wouldn't take it lightly. But I think I beat Victory Bell, personally. Tentacle. It's a jellyfish. You know, I don't know much about jellyfish. But a small one like that, again... I have a huge terrain advantage here. We're not fighting in the ocean, in the water, you know. If it stings me, what? I piss on it. Piss. My own piss has come up weirdly often as a strategy of these, hasn't it? But it's true. I don't think there's much Tentacle can do to me. It's a jellyfish. I'll get there in the end. Tentacruel is what concerns me. How big is this thing? 1.6 meters. So it's like over 5 foot tall. It's a big jellyfish, you know? And it has ultrasonic waves. And it's like... I guess the weak point is you'd go for the head, right? You'd go for the big red spots. But it can use flash. It can emit lights from them and blind you. I don't really see a way in against Tentacruel. Aside from the fact that we're on land. And I have the maneuverability, but he has tons of tentacles. Also, I've only just noticed that like Tentacruel like totally has a beak, doesn't he? Which like octopi and squids have, which is cool. It's interesting. Like that's actually just a beak. I've always wondered what that part of him was supposed to be. Tentacruel would destroy me. He probably would. He has too much utility. He has too many paths to victory. My win condition is that I get in on him, past all those tentacles. I somehow don't get flashed by his blinding red lights or hit by a sludge bomb. And I stab the shit out of his red lights. I don't think that's viable enough. How would it come in your house though? Would it just be flopping on the floor? To be fair, in Pokemon Colosseum and XD Gala Darkness, he floats, right? This thing floats above the ground. So maybe you can do that. And that's terrifying, by the way. The other thing is the pure horror effect. I would probably be screaming and crying the whole time that Tentacruel is in my flat. If he floats, he can get up and down the stairs, which is like one of my very few reprieves against him is the stairs. Yeah, I give it up. I concede. Tentacruel. There is a path to victory there, but it's narrow. I'd say 10 times out of 100. I kill Tentacruel. Geodude is a rock. He has no maneuverability. He's very strong, but he's not getting in on me. And he's quad weak to water. So I'm thinking if I splash a few glasses of the old H2O his way, I don't think he takes too kindly to that. If he uses rollout, he commits to that, and he's rolling around my flat while I just splash water at him and he erodes over time. I could win the late game here easily. You know? Rock throw, I'll dodge. How do you kill a rock throw? Erosion. Just put the taps on. Get some jugs of water. No, I'll be there like dual wielding jugs of water akimbo like I'm in fucking Rambo. Just splash, 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 splash. And he can't get in on me. He can't close the distance. He has his only range is rock throw. And I want to say, we'll talk about this when we get to Voltorb, but self-destruct and explosion is not a win for him, okay? Graveler is much the same, frankly. And I think Golem might be too. Again, neither of these guys can close the distance. Neither of these guys have range. He would punch you to death in the 5 million years it takes you to erode him. No, I'm different. I would erode him very fast. Like, literally, honestly, if Geodude was in my flat trying to kill me, I could live my life like it was any other day. I could be streaming. Geodude could be in my flat right now, and I could be streaming. And in the time that it takes him to get downstairs and open the door and come into my room, I kite him. I take the headphones out. I walk around the room. I walk out the door. I go upstairs. I make myself a hot drink. I drink it. He comes back upstairs. I go back downstairs. I come back on the stream. All the while, I'm just splashing water at him. Eventually, he gives up and self-destructs. His special defense is so low, you could probably take him out with the blowtorch you have one hand. Yeah, exactly. Graveler has legs, but he's still too slow. The worst thing that Graveler and Golem can do to me, my music just stopped, is Earthquake. Graveler could roll at you, I would dodge. Also, he's bigger, so he'd roll slower. It's not happening for Graveler and Golem. This is a battle of attrition, I'll admit. I have to win by eroding them over time, or eventually making them give up and self-destruct, but I think I get there in the end. So, they're rocks. I don't know, they have no range. They can't get in on me. Again, I'll be the zoner here. Ponyta is an interesting proposition. It is a horse made of fire. Yeah, this is a... I don't really know what to make of this one, guys. Can I just say, this has taken so much longer than I thought it was. I was hoping to be done with this in an hour, and it's been an hour and 20 minutes. Uploading this to YouTube is going to be a nightmare. I'm doing good too, Tingle. Thank you. How are you? I don't even know where to start with Ponyta. Like, it's going to run around very fast, and it has a bit of blunt force trauma with double kick, and, you know, it's a horse. But also, I don't know. I feel like if I just throw enough water at it... This is a really weird one. This is the weirdest one so far. What do I do about this? But also, what does it do to me? I feel like we just stalemate each other, right? Horses have no offensive presence, right? For you to get hit by a horse or hurt by a horse, it's like inviting the devil into your house, right? You have to get on the back of the horse and it has to knock you off and do something terrible to you. Or it has to kick you, at which point you have to be behind it. The fire is the problem, and I can put that out over time. If I douse it with water, yeah. I don't see what this thing does. Especially since this is a small one. It will set me on fire? It won't, because I'm smart and agile. And I'll put that fire out. Throw a weighted blanket. Oh, so good, Barmer Boy. Throw a weighted blanket on top of it. It has no dexterity to remove it. Yes, my flatmate has a weighted blanket, so I'll just get that on it. Yeah, Ponyta's done, man. It's annoying. It's an annoying proposition. This would be like fighting Phantom Ganon in Ocarina of Time without a bow and arrow. I'd be fighting Phantom Ganon with the glass bottle. But I'd get there in the end. Rapidash is what concerns me. Because the fires are stronger. It's a bigger, stronger horse. And this Pokemon can be seen galloping through fields at speeds of up to 150 miles per hour. Its fiery mane fluttering in the wind. It also has a horn. This is what's more concerning. This thing has a horn. So it could straight up impale me. But then it's kind of the same logic, isn't it? Let it chase you to a swimming pool? Not gonna lie, I don't think you could beat a horse, let alone one that's on fire. I think you just lack faith, Chris. Because Ponyta's flames are not strong enough that I believe that it sets the whole place on fire by its presence. Also, if that's the case, we could use anime and game logic and say, why is everything not on fire all the time around Ponyta and Rapidash? Because the fires don't spread. They're an aesthetic thing, you know? If you touch the fire, you will get burned, but the fire won't spread. The fire is statically on its back. I think the horn and the added power is a big ask, but I'm going to live with you guys. I just think this is the same logic. But it's fast, right? It runs at 150 miles per hour. How are horses turning? Can horses turn? Do horses have good turning? Not really, right? Kind of. Like better than say like an alligator. But it can't turn like a human can. But then it's just faster. It's so much faster. This is a toss-up. I think this one could go either way, chat. But I'll give the edge to Rapidash. I'll give the slight edge to Rapidash. This is an L, but it's the slightest of L's. Okay? I want you all to know that. I could kill a Rapidash. I'm not saying I would, but I could. Slowpoke, I don't need to explain this, do I? He wouldn't fight back. You know? There is nothing that Slowpoke can do to me. And frankly, Slowbro also, they'd both be too dopey to know what's going on. They're chubby, they're made of a lot of blubber. It'd be annoying and hard to kill. I'd be there with my kitchen knife for a while. But they wouldn't do anything about it. You know? Look, this Slowbro's gimmick is that a creature is biting his tail and he's oblivious to it. His ability is oblivious. He doesn't give a fuck. He's baked. Slowpoke and Slowbro are two of the easiest wins in this whole thing. They don't even know what's going on. Magnemite is weird. Again, blowing up is not a win condition. That makes it a stalemate. Magnemite, I don't know. I think I just take the screw out. We have a screwdriver, but I have to touch him to get the screw out the top of his head and to take him apart. And he could shock me. This is another really weird one that I genuinely don't know. But like, what is his game plan? Shock me to death? Which he'd have to do over a long period of time? He's also very small and he floats around. If I get some rubber gloves or latex gloves and get my hands on him, no. I could get in there with a screwdriver, I could take him apart, I could smash him up, I have a hammer, it is a magnet, yeah, just throw pans at it and shit, yeah. Now that I thought about latex gloves and like rubber stuff, I'm like, yeah, no. This thing would be annoying, you know, it's basically like fighting a little robot, but I'd get there in the end. Same with Magneton. Has stronger electric powers, sure, but I feel like if you take that top one apart, you get a screwdriver in that top one, the whole thing falls apart. Farfetch'd's main weapon is a leek. Farfetch'd intends on fighting me with a piece of celery. You can see in his picture, it looks like he's already kind of backing up, you know. Farfetch'd is so fucking dead. It's crazy. He's trying to fight me with vegetables. I will eat his weapon. I will eat his main weapon. I'm like a Dark Souls boss to him. I will effectively eat his sword in front of him. That's what I will do to Farfetch'd. And after that, he doesn't even have sharp talons. He's got little duck feet. He hasn't got claws. And he's also got a monobrow, so frankly I've got to put him out of his misery. I don't need to explain the ways that I would kill Farfetch'd to you, because I have too many options. Same with Doduo, who is a bit more of a problem, because it has 2 heads and sharp beaks and claws. But it's also just like, this is like fighting a Rhea, right? But a very uncoordinated one. It's quite tall actually, 1.4 meters. Cassowaries are very dangerous birds, but I don't think this is quite at the level of danger of a cassowary yet. It's fast, it has powerful legs, but it's so stabbable, you know. All I need is one opening. This thing needs to get me quite a few times to rack up enough grievous injuries to kill me. I need one opening with my kitchen knife. This is G's theme from Street Fighter V, yeah. I played this in my most recent video. It's a great song, it's awesome, isn't it? I get one opening, I kill Doduo. Dodrio is different, because Dodrio is bigger and stronger and likely faster. 1.8 meters, this thing's taller than Charizard, which isn't saying much because Charizard's 5'5". This is like 5'6", so it's still smaller than me. But it has the bigger, more developed legs. Has 3 heads, which makes it very hard to get in on. But I'm just not seeing how it could feasibly kill me. You know? Also, the 3 heads notoriously don't get along. If you've played New Pokemon Snap, you've seen these guys literally argue with each other. Dodrio probably does have great meat. Yeah, I think Farfetch'd, Doduo, and Dodrio probably taste great. Fun fact, I used to think... Did anyone else used to think that Farfetch'd evolved into Doduo and Dodrio? Anyone else? Because it's piss weak. And it's like 1 head, 2 head, 3 heads. They're all next to each other in the Pokedex. Normal and flying type. Did anyone else think that? Because I thought that for the longest time. Dodrio has a chance. Dodrio has some ways to victory, but I think I win. I think I beat Dodrio. Those necks are a massive weak spot. Yeah, good point. Seal. I mean, it says it in the name, doesn't it? He's just a seal. Like, I get out any blunt force object. I get a table leg. I club this thing. It's over. Dugong is frankly the same. I'm sorry, you might be the evolved form, but you're really not much different. You're just a seal, and again, we're not in the water. You have such a disadvantage here. Game over. Grimer. Do cleaning supplies defeat Grimer? If I bust out some surface cleaner and some wipes, does that work? Because if not, I don't know how I beat this. He's made of congealed sludge. It smells too putrid to even touch. Even weeds won't grow in its path. So it's gross. It's an absolutely vile thing. You have to consider the real world ramifications of this. That he is a creature of the sewers. And is likely made from like real people's shit. And puke and vomit. Yeah, I don't know. Because even if I clean him, even if I go Super Mario Sunshine at this guy, he's still there. He's still a being, right? How do I hurt him? I don't even know. You must send him back from whence he came, lure him into the toilet and flush his ass. That's not defeating him though. That's all. If anything, that's making him stronger and only displacing him. As a mono poison type, he's only weak to psychic and ground. I have no psychic powers, and I can't cause any earthquakes. I've got to do all this with gloves on, with a peg on my nose, probably with goggles. I think this is an L. The one thing I could do, if he comes to me on a Monday when the rubbish guys come and take my bins out, and I lure him out to their truck, and I say, hey, get him. And they take him to the dump. Does that count as a victory? If I take the trash out? Is that a win? I know that he will like absorb a ton of stuff and become bigger. But I got him sent to the dump. It probably isn't a win, right? I don't think there's a way for me to win against Grimer. I probably lose to Grimer. And by that logic, I obviously lose to Muck as well. Because he's bigger and stronger. And what does it say? Smells so awful it can cause fainting. Through degeneration of its nose, it lost its sense of smell. No chance. Shelder is a shellfish. I win against Shelder. Cloyster would be really annoying. This is another battle of attrition. But Cloyster's physical defense is very, very strong. Special defense is pitiful. What can I do about that? What can I do about special defense? I just think at some point, eventually, Cloyster, after having put up no physical fight or presence against me whatsoever, and having no speed, I do think eventually I get through to its weird ball face in the center and just punch it once, or smash it with a hammer, and I just win. I think I win this over time. This would be another really annoying one. Ghosts, Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar. As we all know, if you do not believe in ghosts, you do not see them. I do not believe in ghosts. Therefore, I simply would not encounter Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar. I think the way you beat a ghost-type Pokemon... Like, listen, there's ghost-type Pokemon out there that their whole thing is not that they are just ghosts. So I will talk about ghost Pokemon later. But here, these three, their whole thing is that they're just ghosts. Or they're gaseous, you know? They're gas. They're gas. I have a ventilator fan in my bathroom for when you're done with the shower. You want the hot air to not come out and trigger the smoke alarm, so you put the ventilator fan on, which takes all the hot air out. Even if these things somehow do appear, I lure them into the bathroom, I turn the ventilator fan on, free. The worst thing these things could do is put me to sleep and give me nightmares, and I have that with them not around. So, I think I beat all three of these guys, frankly. Onix. Now here's the thing, right? Okay. You look at Onix and you think, that's a giant snake made of rocks, okay? Let's have a look at this. He's oh my god. He is 8.8 meters in height. He is 73 feet tall, correct? No. I don't even know. 7 feet tall or 73? I don't know what the fuck that means. Okay? He's very big and he's very tall. But there's something very important we need to consider. I'm going to show you guys something, okay? You ready? We're going to go to Cerebinet. I'm going to go find Onix. We're going to look at his base stats. Also, we're going to look at his absolutely pitiful level up moveset, which is embarrassing. Onix's base HP is 35. Smogon? Yeah, I should have done Smogon. His base HP is 35. His base attack is 45. And his base special defense is also 45. Sunken, who is a tiny plant, is very nearly both as physically powerful and as resistant as Onix. So I'm gonna give it to you guys straight. I don't give a shit that he's 8.8 meters tall. I think he dies to a glass of water. I think you splash a glass of water at Onyx and he falls, and he's so slow and he's so weak and he does like no damage and he has a shit move pool. Onyx's bark is so much louder than his bite. What is the defense stat of your house? He's going to bring it down when he tries to get in the front door. Maybe he does. Maybe he destroys the house, and that's annoying. That's the worst thing that Onyx can do to me, is be an inconvenience and destroy my flat. And there's no doubt in my mind that my landlord would not understand, because they're a landlord and therefore a cunt. But I throw this glass of water at Onyx and he folds. I'm not scared of Onyx. I'm putting it straight up. I beat Onyx. Sorry. I just do. Simple. Game over. Drowsy, his only thing is that he could put me to sleep. I have insomnia. I woke up at 3 o'clock today. Drowsy's got nothing on me. Hypno. Same deal. Hypno ain't doing shit. Krabby is a crab. You know. I put him in my... You know, again, I boil the kettle. Throw some boiling water at him. Put him in my boiling sink. All he can do is move back and forth. I'm not scared of Krabby. Kingler might actually pose a threat. How big is he? If he's over a meter... Okay, he's 1.3 meters. This is important. Its large and hard pincer has 10,000 horsepower strength. However, being so big, it is unwieldy to move. This is a huge crab. This is a around 5 foot tall crab who is made of very hard materials. It's like I could avoid this thing for so long. I really could. I just don't see how I beat him. You know, I don't see what I do to kill Kingler. 10k horsepower, shouldn't that be 10,000 psi or something? Yeah, it's fair to say if he grabs me, if he gets a hold of me, I am omni-dead. I think Kingler gets the dub here, to be honest, purely because I don't see how I kill him, because he's made of very hard stuff. I don't think there's any kind of piercing or blunt force I could do to him that would kill him, whilst effectively staying away from him for long enough. So I actually think I give it up to Kingler. I think get a license to operate a crane. There is a big crane outside my flat. I could try and convince them to help me out. But, you know, can I do that in 10 minutes? Probably not. Voltorb is a ball. And he blows up. And my rule is that whoever is left standing after the explosion wins. I just think this is easy. Like, I just don't think I get caught by an explosion. I'd run away in time. There is a visual cue that he's about to blow up, and I just get out of range. I could bait him to exploding. I could trigger that myself and escape and win. I'm just not worried about Voltorb, man. I think I win. What if he chases you? He's very fast. Oh, listen, I'm going to say it. I think I'm faster than Voltorb. I'm not faster than Electrode. Okay, I think I beat Voltorb. Electrode is a different matter because Electrode is ungodly fast. My thing is, he's surely got to stop to initiate an explosion. And again, if he explodes, at best he causes a stalemate where we both die. I've seen very few instances in which he can kill me without blowing himself up. So in his best scenario, it's a stalemate. Which I think is kind of a dub for me. Because I think explosion is a cheap tactic. So, frankly, I give myself the win against Electrode. Execute is eggs. I win. Executor is eggs on a palm tree. I also win. Cubone is a sad little man with a bone who wears the skull of his dead mother. Sadly, I win. I don't want to have to do it. But, you know, I do win. Cubone is... There's a very, very cute episode of the anime where Cubone really wants to play a set of drums, and eventually he gets a chance to, and he's really excited about it, and he's really happy playing the drums, and I don't want to have to kill Cubone, but if it's life or death, you know, if he refuses to give in, then I will. Marowak is still a little gremlin. He's a small little guy. Sure, he's got like a harder skull and he probably hits harder. He's a meter tall. He's slow. He's still using a bone as a weapon. I don't care about a fucking bone. You know? Whatever, man. I'll kill him. Hitmonlee is interesting. He certainly has range and kicking power. This amazing Pokemon has an awesome sense of balance. It can kick in succession from any position. I just don't think you can kill me with kicks. I think if I dodge a kick and his leg's still out there, I close the distance and I stab him. You know? And he's gone. His moveset is pretty whack. All he can do is kick. Hitmonchan is who I'm actually concerned about, because he punches incredibly fast, and he has the elemental punches, like Fire Punch and Ice Punch and Thunder Punch. Its punches slice the air. They are launched at such high speed, even a slight graze could cause a burn. I don't think I'm getting in on Hitmonchan, you know? He also has... Hitmonlee does learn Mach Punch, yeah. But his punching is not his thing, so it's not going to hurt me that bad, you know? I'm much more scared about Hitmonchan, who I think beats me, to be honest. He's also like wearing armor. He's wearing like a vaguely boxerish outfit. So he's like prepared. There's a way that I beat Hitmonchan, but I think most of the time, I think Hitmonchan beats me. I think I'm dead to Hitmonchan, unfortunately. He's got too much going for him. Lickitung has no offensive presence. He has a very obvious weak spot. I'll cut his tongue out. I'll stab him. Yeah, he's gone. Like Hitmonchan, if we imagine as a somewhat amateur to mid-level boxer, I wouldn't put money on you there. Sorry, his punches slice the air. I wouldn't put him at an amateur to mid-level boxer. I'd put him at a superhuman anime character. Oh, this has gone on longer than I expected. My voice is hurting a little bit, I must confess, guys. I should have gone faster on quite a few of these. Lickitung is easy. I kill Lickitung. I just do, okay? I shouldn't need to explain that one. Coughing. I throw this thing at the wall. I punch it. I do any manner of things. Maybe he blows up. That's not a win. Maybe he poisons me and I die over time. But I find a way to kill Coughing before he kills me. Same with Weezing, who is just bigger. You know? What is he? He's just a floating... Some great... I don't know. I don't see how Weezing poses any threat to me. It has Flamethrower, but it has a pretty pitiful special attack stat and no stab on it. So I feel like it'd be getting like a blast from like a nice heater. Rhyhorn's a weird one. I think I lose to Rhyhorn, don't I? It's not just that he's a fucking rhino, but it's that he's rock. It's that he's made out of rock. He is quad weak to water. And it says he's strong but not too bright. Ah, but it also says that this Pokemon can shatter even a skyscraper with its charging tackles. Ah. He's covered in spikes. I don't think the erosion plan works out as well here, because he's not just a rock, he is also a rhino. I love Rhyhorn. I think Rhyhorn's really cool. Yeah, I just... it's not even that Rhyhorn poses the most immediate threat, it's that I just can't do anything back to Rhyhorn. I don't see how I kill him. So, I lose to Rhyhorn, and as by proxy, I also definitely lose to Rhydon. Chansey? Pfft. Chansey, I'm sorry. It's over. You can't heal your own stab wounds as fast as I can stab you, and will. It would be quite sad to kill Chansey after all she does for us. I'd clap for her first. Clap for our carers. But then I'd kill her. And she probably wouldn't, she'd probably just accept, she'd probably just take it, you know? She would fight back. She hasn't got that dog in her. Tangler. That's a kitchen knife fight. You know, hack it down like I'm fucking Clayton and Tarzan. What does Tangler do to me? Vine whip? Whatever. Kangaskhan is a bit of a concerning proposition. Kangaskhan, oh my god, Kangaskhan is 2.2 meters. Hang on. Kangaskhan bigger than me? Yes, Kangaskhan is over 7 foot tall. Kangaskhan is significantly taller than Charizard. My thing is, I am quite Machiavellian. You know, I am trying to play the mental game here. I'm trying to win in terms of mind games. It stands to reason that I would go for the baby first. Or I would threaten the baby. And would she then concede? I don't know. I feel like there's a lot made in the anime of the damage that an enraged Kangaskhan can do. I think this thing is too powerful, too fast. It doesn't look particularly stabbable apart from the belly. Yeah, this thing is kind of like fighting a bear, really, isn't it? It's like a mama bear thing. It's not even particularly slow, Kangaskhan. It says it's swift on its feet. It can jab, it has claws, it's kind of got everything. Kangaskhan's a bit of an all-rounder, huh? There's not really many areas that it's lacking. Yeah, well, if it would require a trainer to make it evolve, but I think normal Kangaskhan on its own probably does your boy in. Horsey, I'll take the plug from my sink, put it right in that little blowhole. GG. Nothing you can do to me before then. Seadra, weak shit. Frankly, same thing. No offensive presence. Worst thing you could do is smokescreen. You know. Goldeen. We're not on water. This is a I will step on you fight. I could probably kill Seaking with the blunt force of stepping on you, but again, I wipe out the kitchen knife if I don't. There's nothing Seaking could do to me. You know. I ran some calcs versus Chansey. 250 plus attack nature Fudj close combat versus 252 HP, 252 defense Eevee like Chansey. Guaranteed Oko. Thank you very much, Toon Tingle. I already knew that, but thank you for confirming it for chat. I appreciate that. Staryu is a starfish. I don't really know how I kill this thing, but I'm sure I'll figure out a way. There's nothing Staryu can do to me in the meantime. I don't have any faith in this thing killing me. And Starmie may be bigger and stronger and have some psychic powers, but I don't have any faith in that thing killing me either. Staryu is a taller order because it has like special attacks and stuff, but it's still a fucking starfish at the end of the day. It's very fast, but it's just a star. It's a starfish. I'm sorry, I just don't believe that a starfish could beat me. I refuse to believe under any circumstances. I'm not even looking any further into that. I win against Starmie, I just do. Mr. Mime is a complicated proposition. Obviously it can build barriers and stuff. But that's really all it can do. Like, let's say, for example, Mr. Mime, in order to prevent me from stabbing him to death, makes a barrier around himself. It's sad because Mr. Mime is literally you. Take that back, miss. What the fuck? Look at him. He's a freak. I would call the police on him if I saw him. I'm not going to do that in the fight because that's not how I win, you know. I'm not a narc. Let's say Mr. Mime builds 4 barriers around himself. Do you know what I do? I go, okay. And I sit there on my sofa in front of him. There's 4 barriers. I get a bag of crisps and I just start eating. I just go about my life. I turn the TV on and I smoke him out. I win the battle of attrition. I starve him out. He's in there, slowly starving, losing everything. And the moment he puts his barriers down, I run back in and I stab him to death. I don't know what Mr. Mind's win condition against me is, but he's not winning. I beat Mr. Mime any day. Scyther. He's 1.5 meters tall. As Scyther fights more and more battles, its scythe becomes sharper and sharper. With a single slice, Scyther can fell a massive tree. Okay. I was about to start talking about how, you know, by virtue of being a bug and being a mantis, he's made of very soft material. If I get my hands on him, I could snap parts of him off, I could break him like a twig. I'm not getting my fucking hands on him, am I? He's very fast. He has the range. He wouldn't, I was about to be like, he'd slit my throat. He wouldn't even slit my throat. He'd just chop my head clean off at range with unreactable speed, wouldn't he? If I am somehow able to fashion some armor, you know, because he has piercing damage but he has no blunt force trauma and he's a fucking glass cannon. If I were able to get my hands on Scyther, I would kill him quite easily. I'd break him apart like a twig. Anyone would. He's a mantis. They're bugs. They're made of very weak stuff. But yes, the issue is that I simply would not get my hands on him. Scyther would very much kill me. And it's a shame. It's a shame. It's conditional. If I get in on him, he's dead. But I never get in on him, and that's the problem. Jinx. What even is Jinx? Why is she ice type? She's a woman. She's a weird woman thing. She's a cold woman. And I've dealt with some, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I've dealt with some cold women in my time. Quite a lot, actually. And I've never won. They've always defeated me. But that is only gonna push me to be more determined in winning this fight. I don't know how I do it. I just think I'd kill Jinx. Perhaps more importantly, I don't know how Jinx would kill me. So I just think I'd get there in the end. I don't know. I don't see what her win condition is. Electabuzz, how tall are you? 1.1, you're very small. He's very electric. But he's very stabbable. This is a real toss-up. But with some rubber gloves, I'm going to give myself a slight advantage. He's not that fast. I think I get in on him. You know, being electric, he doesn't have like an aura around him. If I get in there with a knife, I think he's done. Magmar, on the other hand, whoops, may be more of a problem. Yeah, he's a bit taller and a bit burlier. Fire from range is more of a problem because the effect persists, and he doesn't even realise when he's burned things to a crisp. And he has Flame Body for an ability. He's the Spitfire Pokemon. I don't have copious enough amounts of water or abilities to propel water at Magmar from range to defeat him, I don't think. And Magmar can just fire flamethrower me. He can do whatever. I think Magmar's got this. And even if I make contact with a knife, it probably melts, doesn't it? If I get close enough. And he doesn't die to like just water because he's like a very physical being. Yeah. Magmar's probably got my number. Pinsir. Now I don't know about this thing. Hear me out. His claws don't look that sharp. He has the pincers, obviously. But they're very big, unwieldy, slow weapons that he's going to struggle to get in on me with, and he's not that fast. And he's a bug, so he's made of soft material. If I get in there with the knife, if I shove some shit down his mouth... Again, the terror argument has to come into this. I would be horrified the whole time that Pinsir was coming after me. I would be very intimidated. But I do think I would kill Pinsir. I think he'd come in close to me because he's very aggro. I'd close my eyes and just... with the knife, and that's him done. And he's quite frail. So... I think Pinsir's dead. Tauros, you've got it. GG. Well played. Well done. He's very fast. He has very high speed. This is a bull. You're asking me to fight a bull in my flat. And frankly, I think a bull can probably take a bit of a stabbing. You know, even if I get there a few times with the knife, I think Tauros just blunt forces me. He rams me into a wall. I don't think I can fight Tauros. I think Tauros wins this. You disagree, Bummer Boy? What's your case for me killing Tauros? Because for an instant kill, I need to stab him in the head, and that means going near the horns, which is the scariest part. I've accidentally just opened the Logitech. Oops. Hope that doesn't fuck my whole stream up. Just click the wrong tab. Go away. Okay, we're good. His top speed takes a while to reach, so he's not that agile in a small space. I'm still fighting a bull in my small flat. I can't kite him forever. You know? Yank on his tails. When he can charge with astounding speed. I don't believe, I'm afraid I'm not as much of a believer as you. I think Tauros gets there. Magikarp, I don't need to explain this, do I? Gyarados, I also don't need to explain this. Even if we're on land, it's Gyarados. He does have Hyper Beam. He has scales. He's made of scales. He's 6.5 meters tall. I have no electricity available to me. I don't need to explain either of these two. I beat Magikarp, I lose to Gyarados. I beat Lapras. Lapras always looks like it knows some shit. Doesn't know what it feels like to get fucking stabbed right in the fins, do you? Right in the flippers. This thing's made out of blubber. It has little offensive presence. We're on land. I free up Lapras. Ditto. I didn't want to be here for this long, man. Where do I start on Ditto? Listen, Ditto is not instantly me. Ditto needs a turn to become me. So I stab and kill Ditto in that time. Like, this is basically me versus me, but it's going to take a couple moments for it to become me. If Ditto can't be stabbed, then I'm already within range in the time that it's taking to become me. And then when it becomes me, I stab me. I think Ditto can be killed somehow. He's weak to fighting. So, you know, if I can't stab him, I'll beat him down into a fine paste. I think I'd beat Ditto. I think I'd punch his ass. Yeah. Eevee, I shouldn't need to explain. Vaporeon, I don't think I should need to explain. Jolteon would be a problem because he's fast. Jolteon probably beats me, to be honest. He's too fast and he can Thunderbolt me and I can't take that many volts. I can't outmaneuver him, you know? Yeah. If I'm holding a knife that conducts electricity, which makes my odds worse, yeah, I can't beat Jolteon. Flareon, I also probably can't beat. Yeah, Flareon has fire at range, so I probably lose to Flareon, but I can beat Vaporeon at least. Porygon is... I just smashed Porygon, right? Little offensive presence. It's made out of polygons. It's a computer thing. It can try and give me a seizure like it did all those kids in Japan, but I'll put my goggles on. Porygon has a line of code, so you can't kill it in theory, but by theory it can't kill me as well. And I'm taking that as a dub. I'm taking that as a dub. Like, if Porygon is a real physical thing, I can kill it, but it still can't kill me. So I take that as a win. Omanite is a little shellfish, I kill him. Omastar is a problem, he could cause some physical damage, he could launch rocks and shit and pin missile, but I'll get in there and stab him eventually. Kabuto, whatever that is, Omastar kills me, disagree. I'll free up Omastar. Kabuto, wherever that little gremlin is under the shell, I'll stab him eventually. He has no physical presence. Kabutops absolutely murderizes me, I'll admit. He shreds me up like a little bit of chicken in a restaurant. He turns me into a doner kebab. Kabutops, I have no chance. I can't blunt force trauma him because he's a fossil and he's made out of very strong material, and I can't stab him for the same reason, but he can absolutely slice and dice the living shit out of me. No chance. Kabutops mega kills me, as does Aerodactyl, who's very fast and made of rock and flies and very strong. Aerodactyl is like one of the hardest losses I take, right? These two right here, Kabutops and Aerodactyl, this is up there with like... this is up there with Mankey, the hardest losses I take. No fucking chance. Snorlax is so stabbable. There's been very few Pokemon here that have been more stabbable. It's over. He's not fast. You're gone. I outmaneuver him. He's dead. He's fat. I get there. Just... you know? The three legendary birds I shouldn't need to explain. They're legendary Pokemon. They have ungodly powers. They're in my flat. They're birds. They can outmaneuver me. They can do all this crazy elemental shit. It's not happening. Dratini, cute little fella, you get stabbed. Dragonair, cute little fella, you get stabbed. Dragonite is far too powerful and big and burly and has scales, it seems. I would eventually incite his wrath and he would murder the shit out of me. And then the last two I shouldn't really need to explain either, right? I've been sitting here thinking for a while in the back of my head, like, is there a universe that I can beat Mewtwo? What's my win condition against Mewtwo? You know? Because you play Smash and he's very flimsy, he's very light, he dies very easily. But thinking about the anime where like he does all the telepathy and shit, and he's lifting people up with his brain, and you know, lifting Ash up with telepathy and flinging around the room. Mew doing a lot of the same thing, going even with him in like fights. Yeah, I can't beat these guys. Mew and Mewtwo would explode me with their minds and telepathic powers. I can't even get in on these guys, you know? This isn't even like, do I believe in psychic powers? These are like, these things are shown to have objective, godlike abilities of telepathy that can lift human beings up off the ground. I may be built different, but I'm not built that different. I can't stop that. So I'm afraid to say that I lose to Mewtwo and Mew and Dragonite. And there you go. There you have it, everyone. That is my full fighting record. Those are my fighting words against all the Pokemon of Kanto. I didn't keep track. Maybe someone in the comments could or did, or maybe someone in Twitch chat did. That is which Pokemon I do and do not believe I could beat in the Kanto region. Quite a lot of them, frankly, I think I could defeat.